Hi guys, Kid of Mischief here. So, this is going to be a tutorial on how to make some cheer pom-poms, whether it be for a cosplay or just like a silly little like cheer costume. This is a really cheap, easy way to make them. Of course, they're not going to be, you know, competition worthy, but they're pretty solid. So what you need are some plastic table covers. You can buy them online, but really they're cheaper to get like at a store like Party City. I believe they were $1 each, if not $2. So pretty cheap for pom-poms, I'd say. And one full table cover makes one pom-pom. So first, unfold everything, except for actually leave the main middle fold in, the rest unfolded. Then you want to cut that middle fold so you have two long, really long pieces. When you're done cutting that center fold, you are going to fold it back again so that there's basically 4 edges out on one side and then one side that's folded. Try to make it as symmetrical as you can. What I did was I started folding the far side so it's easier to keep it straight while I'm cutting it. Then what you want to do is cut the strips that are going to be your pom-poms. You can do whatever size you want, 1 inch, half an inch, whatever. I just kind of went for about like 3/4 inch. You can also measure it if you want to be super, you know, particular. But I like to just eyeball things. As long as they're about the same size, no one's really going to notice. And then when you cut it, don't cut it all the way to the fold, because that fold is going to be where your handle is. So get it pretty close, but like leave about, I would say, 2 inches from the fold, so it's 4 inches total that's uncut. And then cut all of your tablecloth all the way down to the end. Once you're done with that, remember that one fold that we did? You have to unfold that. It's going to be a little hard because it gets a little sticky and there's a bunch of tassels around, but just, you know, kind of separate it and make sure that you, when you're unfolding it, that you're keeping about where that handle is, keeping it, you know, there. I don't know. I zoomed in right there so you can kind of see what I mean. See, now once you get to the end, you can see that it's kind of a little pom-pom. Next, you can do different things. Some people I've seen have taken like a piece of craft foam or something and like wrapped it around the middle, but I'm being cheap. This is no, as long as it stays together, in my opinion. These pom-poms aren't made for, again, competition. I took some masking tape and I just taped around the handle to keep the table cloth together, and that's where you're going to be holding it when you're, you know, posing. So try to make it a little bit wide, cover the full non-cut part. Next, I got a little bit of elastic, and I measured around, because I have really tiny wrists, I measured it around the first thumb knuckle, so it'll be small enough that it won't roll off my hand, but it's big enough that it'll go over the rest of my hand. And it's elastic, so it'll stretch. I then taped the elastic together. Really, I would say if you can sew it, I would say sew it. If I was remaking them again, I would sew those together because one of them popped off near the end of the day at a convention. But it's an easy fix. You can tape it back on. But to avoid that, I would say stitch them together. For what I did here was I taped the edges together, overlapping it a little bit so it's a little sturdier. Then hold it to where you're going to put it on the pom-pom and get more masking tape and the elastic around the already masking taped part. This is going to get a little tricky if you want to do like I did and use long pieces, because you have to be very careful that you don't accidentally tape the vinyl. Luckily it's masking tape, so if it gets a little stuck, you just pull it off pretty easily. You can do smaller pieces, like do one circle at a time if you don't want to worry too much. But I would say do it quite a few times so the elastic is on there pretty sturdy. Now test it, and there you go, there's your little handle. The reason why I did it like this was so then at conventions I wouldn't have to be holding the pom-pom the whole entire time. I can just leave it on my wrist. That's why I didn't want it to fall off my wrist, you know, as I stated earlier. And that's what the pom-pom looks like right now. Of course it still needs a little bit of work, but you're getting there. It's almost done. Next, remember that second fold we did after we cut the middle? That means that there's going to be some of the tablecloth, or not some, it's all of each tassel is 2 tablecloth folds. So what you're going to want to do is separate each of those and pull it a little bit. Don't pull it too much because it actually will tear really easily. I lost about only 2 strands because I pulled too hard. And just do enough of a pull that it separates them. I made sure to do every single tassel by separating the ones I already did onto my right side and the ones I was working on the left side. I then also figured out if I put it under my leg, it'd be easier to separate them. Now this takes quite a long time, so I skipped over that. You get the point. And now I ended up also making a second pom-pom, and this one that I'm holding is the first one after you pull apart each tassel, and the second one is what it looked like beforehand. So, you know, kind of a comparison. One looks poofy and one doesn't. Now, same thing, pull apart each tassel on the second pom-pom. And now you have 2 pom-poms. Awesome! I know it looks a little silly when you're holding it down, but when you hold it up like this, it's a pom-pom. So, thank you guys for watching this tutorial. I hope it was pretty easy to follow along. I know there's some parts I don't know how to explain what I mean, but I hope the visuals help. Yeah, so thank you for watching. And if you want to see the full tutorial on how I made my Ochako Cheer UA uniform, that is up on my Patreon, which is in the description below, and you see me work on it completely. So again, thank you for watching. Subscribe if you liked it, thumbs up if you liked it, and see you next time. Bye!